Hey guys, what's going on? So, for about a week or so, I've been using the Hori mini wire gamepad, which is this small little controller, as you guys see here. Here's the front side, back side, top side, and underneath. Honestly, I've been using this controller for a while, playing some games on it, playing games like Naruto, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and what else? What other shooters? I've been playing Call of Duty World War II, Battlefield 1, using this little controller, and I would say that the only con, which is pretty much the most obvious one, of course, it is the fact that it is not meant for people who have really big hands. Because some of the problems that you'll incur while using this controller is that when you're using the L1 and R1 buttons, at times you're going to be pressing both buttons rather than one of them. So you have to train your fingers exactly how to use the controller properly. And then of course you also have the twin sticks. At times I got to a point where I got comfortable with it, but one of the problems that I was encountering mostly was just V's, especially if you're playing shooters, because if you're gonna play competitively, I don't recommend this controller. But as you get it outside the box, it is built for young gamers. So if you have children or siblings or cousins, grandsons, granddaughters, godchildren or whatnot, any young person or people who just literally have small hands, I recommend this controller. Now, you might say that, well, if I give this to my kid, they might try to break it or whatnot or smash it against the ground. Oddly enough, this controller is actually durable. I mean, as many times I've dropped this controller or whatnot, and then sometimes you get minor scratches here and there or whatnot. But with this one, I mean, I've dropped it like maybe 2 or 3 times or whatnot, but nothing. It still works. It still operates. Now, granted, the home touch screen is really small, so like for certain games where you have to press the left or right and whatnot, yeah, it's not. Yeah, you're not. Good luck with that. It's not gonna work to your best favor. So, if anything, just have like a spare controller on the side, so that way if you have to use the touchpad, like the left side, the right side, the bottom, the up, or whatnot, you have that option. But overall, I do recommend this controller because if you have some young ones and you don't want them to get your best controller, or if you don't have a pro controller, get this controller, because guess how much it costs? $30. Got this up at Best Buy. I mean, you can't go wrong with this controller. I mean, you can't. Great for young people. Great for if you have, look, it's the holidays. You're going to have some family coming by or whatnot. Probably you're not going to be able to purchase this controller right away, but let's just say in the future, you're going to have some young ones around, or if you're hosting like a little party or a get together and there's going to be some games and you don't want them to get your best controllers, you don't want them to scratch and damage it, get this, because for $30, you can't go wrong with this controller. Now, this controller, oddly enough, reminds me of the Super Nintendo controller. I know. Almost similar and literally almost the same size if you put them together side by side. And that's the feeling that I got using this controller. It just reminded me of the Super Nintendo controller, except the fact that the D-pad is actually big. The Super Nintendo D-pad is actually bigger than this. And then of course the buttons, they're all out. They're not all crunched in like the mini wired pad, but overall, I mean, it just gave me that nostalgia factor. And then of course you only got your shoulder buttons, which is one, but you don't have no trigger buttons. But this one has But this one has 2. So that's that. And then of course the compared to the Wii controller, very small, of course, but you can still use it. Don't have a lot of buttons. You have the little D-pad. And then I also compared it to the actual PlayStation 1 controller, which is a little bit bigger, but it works. It's a little bit bigger than this controller, but overall, gaming on this controller, it was fun for a bit, but for like competitive games like shooters and fighters, yeah, you're gonna get mopped, especially if you have big hands. So I don't recommend it. Now, if you want to play some 2D side-scrolling games, like what was that one game? Strider, another one, Dust. yeah, I would recommend getting this controller just because you're not going to do much with it. You're not going to do much of gameplay in those type of games when using this controller. So this is great for side-scrolling games if you do have big hands and you want a nice extra cheap controller just for certain games. So this is a controller I would recommend. So yeah. Anyway, guys, that is all. Let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on this controller? Are you going to pick it up and buy it? It is worth it for 30 bucks. You just can't go wrong. So that being said, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. And until next time, and as always, stay classy.